Today, 9.3. What are we doing?
Pythagorean Theorem.
One more time. What are we doing?
Pythagorean
Pythagorean Theorem. Yes, it is. Now, thank you. Pythagorean Theorem. We will use this to solve problems using what kind of triangles?
Right triangle.
You can only use this if it is a right triangle as stated in your vocab. Hypotenuse. Say hypotenuse.
Hypotenuse.
A hypotenuse, as you can see, you guys have this little triangle. Let's go right to this little example here that they've got drawn for you. The hypotenuse. Here you have your right triangle. And how do I know this is a right triangle? Excellent. The 90-degree sign right there indicates a 90-degree angle, therefore I know it is a right triangle. Now the hypotenuse is always the side opposite of the right angle. So your hypotenuse can never be connected or part of the right angle. And your hypotenuse is always labeled with a C. All right? So in your equation, a squared plus b squared equals c squared, the c squared is always your what?
Answer.
Not answer, your hypotenuse. Say hypotenuse.
Hypotenuse.
Good. Now we have the A and the B. Those are called our legs, just like it states here. And it doesn't matter which one's the A and which one's the B. I could have labeled this one the B and this one the A if I wanted to. It doesn't matter. Those two are interchangeable because both of them together make up what? They make up your right angle, your 90-degree angle. They're called your what? Legs. Your legs make your 90-degree angle. All right. A building's access ramp has a horizontal distance, horizontal, like you're laying down, flat, of 24 feet. So horizontal distance of 24 feet. And a vertical, like you can jump in basketball, you're vertical, how high you can jump? Well, this has a vertical rise of how much? How much? What's my vertical on this ramp? 2 feet. Good. Find the length of the ramp to the nearest tenth of a foot. So what do we have here in this ramp? We need to label our A, our B, and our C. What one is missing? The C is missing because right here would be my right angle. And opposite the right angle is our hypotenuse, and there is no distance. That's what we're solving for right there is our hypotenuse. And you said that was my letter C. So what are 24 and 2? My legs, good answer. And what letters? A and B. Does it matter which one I give to which? Okay, so I'll do this. If you had them the other way around, we'd still have the same answer in the long run. Doesn't matter. So let's solve and see how long that ramp really would be. How many think it's going to be 24 feet? Good. Nobody? How many think it's going to be shorter than 24 feet? One, maybe? Not sure. How many think it's going to be longer than 24 feet? All right. Everybody else, that's good. If at any time in your homework you end up with a right triangle and you solve for C, if your C is ever shorter than your A or your B, you did something wrong. Okay? Your hypotenuse is always longer than what your A and B would be. Not added together, but separately. Like your hypotenuse has to be longer than what your A is, and it has to be longer than what your B is. Let's fill in the blanks. I'm going to slide this over because I don't have enough room. I like to write it as an equation, so if you guys will write this to the side of your notes. Always start out writing the Pythagorean Theorem. A squared plus b squared equals c squared. Draw your line down your equation. Now let's substitute. Let's plug in the numbers that we know. We always usually know 2 of them. And you said I know the A and the B. They were 24 and 2, right? They were feet. So we go to the A. A is what? We're going to use that for 24. So write 24. Am I done? Right. It has to be 24 squared. Plus my B is 2 squared. Nice job. Equals. And we don't know what my C is yet. That's what's missing. So equals C or C squared? C squared. C squared. Nice. All right. Now you can do it in your head or use your calculators. What is 24 times 24? Excellent. 576 plus, because 2 times 2, 2 squared is 4, equals C squared. So now we have 500, what? 80 equals C? C, senor, no. C squared. Excellent. All right. Am I done? No. No. Because remember, we can't, having a C squared, it's like having a negative variable. You can't have a negative variable. Well, we're not done if you have a squared variable. So C equals what? We did these in our review yesterday. What does C equal? Square root of 580. Is 580 perfect? No. 580, hit your square root button. Oh, it's not perfect. Now, what do your directions say? Do they want you to leave this in radical form, or we have to break it out of radical jail? Or do they want us to round it to the nearest 10th integer? Does it say? Just says simplify. But now, would it make sense if in this word problem I want to know how long this ramp is? Would it make sense for me to leave it in radical form? Like 5 times the square root of 7 or whatever? Would that make sense? What do we want to know? We want to know how long it is. We want to know how many feet this is. So, approximately, is it going to be approximately how many feet? 24 or 25? 24. Right. So, C equals 24 feet.
Oh, yeah, let's find the length of the ramp to the nearest 10th.
Okay, so if it's to the nearest 10th, so we rounded that to the nearest foot, 24 feet. And if we do it to the nearest 10th, it is approximately what? 24.1 feet. Why did I write my equal sign squiggly like that? Because it's approximately. All right? Next question. Example number 2. Again, I'm going to slide this over, write it to the side so we can write our equation. What do I start with? Nice. Oops. That's not an equal sign. There we go. Draw your line. What do we know? Here, they labeled them for us. Which one am I having to solve for this time? The A squared. The A is missing over here. So I don't have anything to put in for the A, so bring the A squared down. Plus, what's B? 10 squared equals, now we have the hypotenuse, which is 15 squared. All right, let's square everything. So we've got this stays A squared plus, what is 10 squared? Equals, what's 15 squared? What is it?
225.
Oh, I got that. Good, I heard something different, but excellent. And now it's an equation like we've been solving from the beginning of the school year. What do? Nice, good memory, minus 100. So now I have a squared equals what? 125. Therefore, a equals the square root of 125. What does a equal?
11.
Okay, does it say what we're supposed to round it to or anything? The directions. Does it say that we need to round it at all? Okay, so let's round it to the nearest whole number. If it doesn't say to round it, what would it be? 11. If it said round it to the nearest tenth, it would be 11.2 if they said to round it to the nearest tenth. What would it be if we had to round it to the nearest hundredth? 11.18 if we had to round it to the nearest hundredth. Next example. Start out writing a squared plus b squared equals c squared underneath each one. Who wants to do number one? Come on up. You can bring your packets with. Okay, and then here. Don't you love those duh moments? I love it. She goes, she does herself. All right, do we agree or disagree on this though? Do we agree or disagree?
We'll switch to 84 to 64.
You want to switch?
Yeah.
You want to switch this to a 64. Aha. So you had it right on your packet. You just wrote it wrong on the board. Now do we all agree?
Yeah.
If this is a 64, correct. Your answer C equals 10. Number 2, who wants to do this one? Come on up. These are fun. I love Pythagorean Theorem.
Me too, I love
I just like to say Pythagorean Theorem. This is as much fun as decimals.
I thought they would be hard.
No.
right.
Show of hands. Who had this last year? Who had Pythagorean Theorem? Was introduced to it at all last year?
I was in advanced math last year.
I was in normal.
So basically you're in the same math.
A equals 5? Agree or disagree? He's got 5. Agree or disagree? Agree? What's 12 times 12? Is that a 4? Oh, okay. So a squared plus 144 equals 169. And then what did you do here?
Minus both sides.
You minus 144 to both sides. Minus 144, that's what you did. So that left you with a squared equals what?
25.
Is that an A or a Q?
And then a equals 5. Now do we agree? Yes? I've got somebody else, people kind of going yay or nay.
Yes.
Yay.
All right, that's what I need to know. Number 3, who wants to do number 3? Number 3, come on up. Question? Good question. Let's round our answer to the nearest whole number on this one. All right, you want to bring up your calculator? Now put 279 on there, please. Hit the square root. Now, round it to the nearest whole number. Do you want it to be a 16 or do you want it to be a 17? Nice. Questions on any of these 3 examples? Nice job, everybody's doing very well. Keep up the good work. Now, we're going to see, what if they give me, they say, tell me whether the triangle with the given side lengths is a right triangle or not. Now here they tell you that the A is 8, the B is 9, and the C is 12. However, sometimes in your math testing or your homework or quizzes, they'll just give you the numbers that'll be like number 1. Tell me if 8, 9, and 12 would form a right triangle. And at that point, if they're never labeled, if they just give you the numbers like this, they're always in order. They're always the A, the B, and the C, okay? So even if they're not labeled, they always give them to you in order. So let's check. All we have to do then is, let's see. Does 8 squared plus 9 squared equal 12 squared? Does 8 squared plus 9 squared, does that equal 12 squared? Oops, squared, not cubed. Let's find out. 8 squared is?
60.
64 plus 9 squared? Equals, and 12 squared is? Perfect, 144. Now, what is 64 plus 81? 145. Does that equal 144? No. Womp, womp, womp. That does not make a right triangle. That does not make a right triangle. Now, how about if I gave you the numbers 7, 21, and 14? Do you have to do all the work for that one? Would you have to do the whole equation for it to find out yes or no?
Yeah.
No. Why not? What did I tell you at the beginning of the lesson when we were talking about the hypotenuse? The hypotenuse, the C, what did we talk about? So if this is my ABC, is this one longer than these two? No. So could that make a right triangle? Absolutely not. That 14, that can't ever be smaller than either one of those two. And I believe, what do we have left here? 3 examples? So, yes or no? Figure this one out. Does 7 squared plus 24 squared equal 25 squared?
Yeah.
Let me see. Nods of heads. Nodding, yes or no. Do you believe or not believe? Tis the season. I believe it is true. I believe it is false. What do you believe?
True.
49 plus what's 24 times 24?
576.
What's 25 times 25?
625.
Add these together, I get what?
625.
Does 625 equal 625?
Yes.
Well, by golly, I believe that does make a right triangle. Yes, that one works. Number 4.
That was easy.
Number 4, are we believers? It works? You're saying this is a right triangle. So what is 12 times 12?
144.
Plus 9 times 9? 15 times 15?
225.
So 225 equals 225. This is a right triangle. Yes, it does. How about this one? Believers or not?
No.
No? 100 plus, what's 25 times 25? Good. And what's 27 times 27? Does 725 equal 729? Womp womp. No, that one does not make a what? I didn't hear you. What?
Right triangle.
Right triangle. Excellent. Your homework. I'm going to shorten it up a little bit today. I only want you to do page 467, 7 through 18 for today. That's what I want you to do for today.
Okay.